Let me explain. Over in China, they released a 46 episode Sentai-like anime. And this is the toy version of the mecha they use in that anime. Now, just judging from the design, doesn't it look a tad bit familiar? Let me give you a clue. Yes, what I'm reviewing today is a retooled knockoff of the original deluxe Dino Megazord. The GodBeast Megazord. This is awesome. Okay, let me just get through the box quickly. So right here we have a nicely illustrated window front showing the toy inside. On this side we have more promotion for toys produced for this line. On the back we have illustrations of each of the individual mecha. On this side we have the mecha again, but details of their corresponding partners. And on the top we have illustrations of our 5 Rangers and a nice little handle. Alright, so that's enough of the box. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? Okay, we'll start with the center mecha. Now, from what I can gather, these mecha are based off the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellation. Now, this one here belongs to the Yellow Ranger and is based off the Qilin, if I said that right. Basically, it's a Chinese version of the unicorn. Anyway, as you can see here is an obvious retool of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, though Qilin is 4-legged. So it comes with these little pieces to make up the front legs. Let's see. Like that. Like so. And you attach them to these little stubs on the front. And there we go. Now here comes my first problem with the toy. These new front limbs are only held together by friction, meaning that especially the feet will come off if you play with it. So it's really meant for display, which kind of sucks. But anyway, the rest of the toy. As you can see here, the head here is a new sculpt, especially the one underneath it. The tail itself now ends in a ball spike, though this piece is different from the rest of the tail. Paint wise, not much yellow surprisingly. The chest itself is pretty bare. But what makes up for it is pretty much this nice metallic silver on the legs and on this little crest right here. Now this one I had to paint it myself to get it that color. Mostly this comes in a dull gray, which makes me surprised that a knockoff actually has good paint for it. Articulation is the same for the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The front limbs, if they can stay on, have pretty much about 4 places for you to bend them, if it stays on. So anyway, that's about it for this guy. Okay, this is the Mastodon ripoff, the tortoise. This one belonging to the Blue Ranger. Now, comparing them side to side, you can see that the tortoise itself has a bunch more bumps towards it, which fits well for it as a tortoise, along with all these nice little designs all around. Now this one I have a little nitpick for. For one thing, the head on mine is permanently slanted this way for some odd reason. I don't know if it's making it look cute or anything. The second is the odd color, the distortion. This side has blue, and this part is green, which is sort of odd. But what's more odd is that, compared to the other ones, this one doesn't have any silver paint applied to it, which sticks out later on, as we'll see. Now despite this, this guy does have an attack feature. You get the sword that it comes with, and it bends at 2 points. And you sort of just sit it on the back. Something like that. In the show, it basically launches itself at the villains with this. And as much as I tried, I can't really fit it as well on the Mastodon for some reason. I guess because of the different shaped backs. But anyway, so yeah, that's about it for the tortoise for you. And here's our chest plate. Now this one is based off a phoenix-like creature and belongs to the Red Ranger, who is a girl, surprisingly. Other than that, there are two details that makes this stand out far more from the original, in my opinion. First off is the detailing done on it. Most of it is pretty much all molded in, which actually feels and looks rather nice despite being all red. Definitely the new tail with its two little Pokeballs. Definitely is very nice. Other than that, the other difference which really stuck out was that this entire chest plate area is, to the best of my knowledge, is die-cast. Or rather, it's made of some heavy material that makes this one lighter in comparison. Other than that, the only other difference I see is that they added a little piece here that stops the neck from going as far down as the original did. But other than that, that's our chest piece for you. Moving on to the legs, we have the retooling of the saber-tooth tiger, the white tiger, belonging to the White Ranger, obviously. Now the new face itself isn't that great looking, but then again neither was the original. Much like the tortoise, it does get new detailings, which in this case is stripes, which look quite nice. And again, I do love the silver that they use for the legs. Other things to note, if you can recall that the saber-tooth tiger is able to roll, well, they decided to take this feature out. Instead, the front wheels are now more stiffer to move, even if the back wheels are still there. This may be because in the show it doesn't use this function, so I can see why they took it out. However, we do get an upgrade for the tail. The white tiger, much like the saber-tooth tiger, can shoot from his tail, but it can also do so on the toy. On his tail tip, it gets this big old gun that you can click around to lock in place, and then you can just aim it forward. Now, you get 3 little plastic missiles with this. How this works is there's this little switch right here. What you do is load the missile with the switch here, push it down to lock it, and then press it back up to fire, like so. And it actually shoots quite nice, and it's a nice function to add on to this, though it makes the tail more clunkier than it should be. But in any case, that's the white tiger for you. Here's the retooling of the Triceratops Zord. This one being a green Chinese dragon, belonging to the Green Ranger. Now, compared to the other 4, this one has had the least done for retooling, or at least the least impressive. The new head itself, it has some nice silver paint towards it, though in my opinion it looks rather ugly. Now, the sides itself has only these little markings just to show sort of feet for it. And compared to the tiger, this toy has a downgrade for the tail. While the Triceratops has had cannons, this one just has a fold-out tail, which kind of sucks. It's very misleading towards the one in the show. At least the other ones look more like the one for the show. So I'm kind of glad that later on this thing does get some sort of upgrade. But just for this one, it's not that great looking. It can still roll, though very poorly, just like the Triceratops. But yeah, that's about it for the Green Dragon.